Well, this week on Reliving the Extreme, we are discussing the episode of ECW from December the 19th, 1995. Nate Maxon, your host here, along with my brother Aaron.
Hello.
And Mr. Chad Austin.
How you doing, guys?
Chad is on the mend, and we're glad that he can join us and be here with us today to talk about this ECW episode. You're into like a December time here, so there's not a lot going on this episode, but there's some stuff of significance, so we will get into that. But before that, if you guys are so willing, I actually got a couple of questions from some of our listeners this week.
You got questions? Oh my God.
Got questions. And if you ever have any questions for us, you can email us at relivingtheextreme@gmail.com. We appreciate the participation. This first one, this guy kind of takes a shit on me, and that's all right. It is what it is. But he said, I heard on a recent episode Nate say that he thought ECW peaked at Barely Legal 97, which is bullshit because it was great until late 98. Chad and Aaron, what is your opinion as to when ECW peaked? So apparently I'm fucking wrong, Tom Evers. Thank you for emailing us. But I think ECW peaked at that first review, Barely Legal 97. What do you guys think as a promotion? Aaron?
I'd say 98, but I mean, it's all just opinion. And like, so this guy being like, oh, it's bullshit, you're stupid or whatever. It's like, no, it's an opinion. Everybody's got them.
All right. That's cool, man. Yeah, that guy had an opinion. In my opinion, I think ECW peaked in 1996.
Well, there you go. Yeah, see? It's all a matter of fucking perspective.
I mean, the pay-per-view, we all, I mean, the story's been told about how it was all just, it was barely put together. It barely happened, right? Like, Paul kind of, like, swindled this company into doing all this. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like it was a big, like, to do, no. 97 ECW was already in trouble. Way in trouble. But I think ECW peaked as a company as far as performance, like TV production wise, was 1996.
And the reason I say 98-ish is because they started obviously getting more and more on the radar as things went, and like guys would go and come back and go and come back, and it's like a lot of the guys, once they left and like went to the WWE or WCW and then came back, it's like, the bloom's already off, you know what I mean? Like it's like Sandman wasn't the same when he came back, you know what I mean? That's just an example.
It was already done then. Like it was already like the light was already in the back. Then they were just doing that just to like go, all right, just go like Tom, like poor Tommy Dreamer,
And it's like by the time they got on national TV, it was like, oh, we got Chilly Willy, here he is. It's like,
yeah, dude, it was way too late. Chilly Willy. There you go. I mean, if you're even gonna say, it's fucking
But yeah, I mean,
or whatever his name was.
I love the build up. I love 96 also. It's actually 96 is my favorite. I'm with Chad. 96 is my favorite year of ECW. But I do love the build up to the pay-per-view and all the stories going into it. And I really, really liked that pay-per-view. But then after that, to me, creatively, it's just when it seemed like it just went downhill. And like Aaron was talking about, Sandman comes and goes, Raven comes and goes, Shane Douglas comes and goes. They're just, these guys are in and out, and there's no, you kind of, because of the promotion getting rated and stuff, you have no consistency in the roster. And
how can you do story fine? When how can you continue a story when Sabu Like Sabu's the biggest star, Shane's the biggest star, Taz is the biggest star. And like you said, they just came in, came out, came in, came out, whatever.
And I'm not saying like it was bad or anything.
A lot of the guys actually kind of stayed, man. Like even though you said Shane came and went, and Sabu came and went, they were always there for like the big shows, like for the blow offs.
And I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying like it wasn't. Once they finally got on like big time television and shit, it wasn't what ECW was, in my opinion.
Of course it wasn't. It was never meant to be. It was snake bitten from the very beginning. From the very beginning, it was of course, of course. You think the fucking Vince is gonna allow Paul? You know what I mean? Come on.
I Yeah, I've always contested that because of the fact that you're moving the promotion from being an underground, like I guess you call it underground success with smart wrestling fans and etc., and trying to build that company into a major wrestling company, which is what Paul envisioned.
That's
Whether
still
people whether people want to admit it or not, and as much as they might hate it, ultimately, if Paul was going to achieve the success he wanted to achieve and be on national television, the ECW would have wound up being something like WWECW. As much as people hate it, if they were going to try to take the company mainstream, eventually it would have wound up in that direction anyway.
And Paul fought it. He needed to do it, and that's why it didn't succeed, because it's like Vince. Paul admitted that Vince told him that. He said, like, good job, you got national TV, but you're gonna have to change your shit, buddy. Like, you can't just appease to this niche audience, because you're not gonna get any sponsors, you're not gonna get any traction. You gotta change it up. And he wouldn't do it. Vince even gave him a production truck for that first ECW on TNN, and he didn't even use it.
Can't hear you, Chad. Oh, the zombie on the I don't know who was that. I don't know who that wrestler was.
You know what I mean? That's the first thing you saw on ECW television when it debuted on TNN was the zombie whatever guy.
Well, that was ECW. That was WWE ECW.
I know. But that's what I mean. Like, how could you run your promotion? Granted, at the time when ECW was let's say when ECW was hot. What's that? Let's say 90. Let's just take 97 as an example. Late 97, 98. They had what, Danny Doring and the Roadkill. As a mid tag team. You know what I mean? I love Danny Doring, and I'd love any opportunity to bury him because But you know what I mean? Get Danny Doring and the Amish Roadkill as your fucking one of your top tags, one of your top attractions. Come on.
Yeah. There's blame to go around to everybody for what happened to ECW. not just Vince or not just Eric Bischoff, but even from within, ECW sabotaged itself a lot of the time.
Well, it was Vince. I'm telling you. Paul just fucking threw his hands in the air and just said, "All right, man. Now it's your company. Now you do what you want." It's just the way it was. He just threw his hands in the air and said, "All right, this is now your company. You do whatever you want with whatever I created." Fuck. If I would have created ECW in my vision, I would have fought way harder than I would have fought way harder than that. I mean, that's my opinion. But I mean, Paul may got off. I mean, I'm sure Paul got offered a job. So Paul just got, whatever. Fuck, you can have whatever you want.
Yep.
I mean, fuck, I have the ECW library. Fuck, is that what you want? The library? I have it, and plus I have stuff they don't even have. That's the worst part.
They yeah, you're right though. Paul just he just buckled. Yeah, sure, I'll take the money. I'll show up on Monday Night Raw and WrestleMania. That's fine. I'm not even gonna tell these guys we're done. We're just done.
Yeah. I'm actually wearing a shirt right now. The very last show. The one from Arkansas. The very last ECW show. And
Thank you.
I didn't go to it because, believe me, I already knew way ahead of hand. That ship had sailed. And there's no chance I was going to Arkansas.
Who goes to Arkansas willingly?
I know, right? And why is ECW running in Arkansas?
Because Paul wanted to be as far away from his crew as he could when he let people know that we weren't coming back. He's like, I'm not going to Arkansas. I'll be at Monday Night Raw.
Of course. He ran that show in Arkansas so he could fucking just duck the fuck out of there. And anybody at that show had no idea where they were at. They weren't going to find Paul anyway. So, he ran that show in Arkansas as an outlaw mud show and just said, I'm going to run this show and just take this money. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. See you guys later, man.
The only one I don't believe saying that they knew it was over, or the only one that I don't believe saying that they didn't know it was over was Tommy. I'm pretty sure Paul probably let Tommy know, hey, this shit's done. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody, and I'll get you in with Vince.
How many times on this show I said Tommy's a fag? You don't fucking like Tommy cries a river. Oh my god. What did he do? What did he do to save ECW? He was the guy who was right there with Paul. He did all the fucking promos at fucking Tommy Chambers' mom's house. You know what I mean? Tommy Chambers was never going to be the savior of ECW because he didn't do anything to step up and try to save it. All he did was lend support to the guys. Give me the fuck. Give me the fuck out. I mean, I wasn't even there.
Thanks for being our emotional support animal, Tommy.
Yeah,
and
that's all it was.
And thank you, Tom, for that question about ECW peaking. And then our second question here is from a listener named Carrie. Carrie said, in an alternate universe, if Steve Austin doesn't go to the WWF, do you think okay, this is worded weird. Okay, I'm going to read it as it's worded. In an alternate universe, if Steve Austin doesn't go to the WWF, do you think he would have elevated ECW to a higher level and been as successful as he was in the Federation?
100%. Yep. I just when I just watched the show, I was like, dude, this guy is he looks like he looks like he's somebody.
I think it would have been totally different for Shane when he came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I don't think Shane would have been top banana in that fucking company as the heel. I don't see you know what I mean? I don't see Paul investing more in Shane than he is in Steve. In my opinion.
Shane's problem was he was always injured at the wrong time. He always got hurt at the wrong time when we needed him. And then we had to find somebody to fill the spot, and then all of a sudden, oh, he comes back. He's ready to come back. Yeah, we got Austin. Oh, of course, Austin. If we would have kept Austin, dude, seriously, he would have been the Steve Austin that you know that we all know, but it would have been different. It would have been different, but it would have still been the Steve Austin that we all know.
Well, it's like you said, you take one look at him and you're looking at a fucking star, and I'm not trying to demean the other guys that were in ECW, but Steve Austin is head and shoulders above everybody else on that show, star level wise.
He looks like somebody.
Yes, he looks like somebody. He talks like somebody. Like, can you imagine the possibilities through, say, like 96, 97 of Steve Austin and Terry Funk, or Steve Austin and Raven? I mean, just that, God, Austin and Funk would have been amazing.
Well, you could have did, I mean, just right there, you could have did an angle with him and Funk, and somehow Raven gets involved. So then it transfers into him and Raven. I mean, you can't have him and Funk work, a million matches. Seriously.
Right.
You can't do that. But you have him and Funk do angles, and then all of a sudden, why is Raven showing up? You know what I mean? And then you have Steve questioning why the fuck is Raven showing up? You know what I mean? There's your angle. I mean, that's not like rocket science.
No, and then you just let those two talented motherfuckers do their thing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even book it, right? Like you don't even sit there and book it. You let them book it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a night off booking these two guys because they'll do magic on their own. They don't even need somebody to do it for them. Hell, Raven was booking 70% of ECW anyway.
I mean, I was seeing Raven all the time, like in the locker room, and it was always like, yeah, hey, and I'm like, hey, it's you and Dreamer again, he's like, yeah, hey. Like he kayfabe me, which I didn't give a fuck. What the fuck are you? What did I care? But yeah, hey. And then nobody knew Raven had anything to do with the book. But Raven definitely booked on his own angles. That I heard from him himself.
Aaron, anything else on Austin before we get into
just like I said, he would have been the biggest star in that company, and I'm not saying it would have changed history or anything. It probably still would have wound up where it was still at because it was still being run business wise like it was, but he would have been the biggest star in that company.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you don't think it wouldn't have changed anything. I mean,
I just don't think I'm just saying the business the way business was ran, I don't think it wouldn't have meant like, oh, guys are getting paid now and Paulie's doing this differently. Like the business aspect of it would have still been the same, but
guys weren't getting paid then.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like that wouldn't have changed. So ECW would have still suffered the same fate. Steve would have just been the biggest star of the company that suffered the same fate, I think.
Yeah, but he had somebody he could use as a star of the company. Like just say for NAFTA. For that thing. He could have used him for his star for going to whatever platform they were on. I forgot whatever. I mean, you were the platform they were on. Yeah, but he was the star, and he could have walked right into an office and said, "Yeah, that's right. That's why you want us on this platform. That's right, because I'm the biggest star, and I'm gonna draw money here, and you wait. I mean,
Steve Austin on Regis and Kathy Lee.
see, the problem was, like I just said, the problem was, it was the wait. They couldn't wait. ECW didn't get money now, you know. And
Well, Steve is featured on this episode we're going to review of ECW. It's from December the 19th, 1995. We get an intro from Joey Styles after they show us the title match, the result from last week with Sandman winning the championship. Joey intros the show, discusses how Sandman has a broken hand, has been advised to not compete, but he's going to compete anyway against 3 challengers in 3 days. Cactus Jack on night 1, Steve Austin on night 2, and Conan on night 3. So we're building up Sandman as a fighting champion here.
well, ain't nothing wrong with that, right?
Absolutely
Local
not.
guy, he's over. Guys love him. Yeah, what the fuck? That's fine by me. I mean, Conan was like, I would have pushed Conan bigger as a bigger name. I agree.
At this time, yeah, I mean he had international credibility. He was a huge star in Mexico, and a great get and a great import for them.
Huge star, man.
The problem is, I think a lot of these guys, like Paulie, knew they weren't going to be like long for his company. You know what I mean? Like he probably knew Conan wasn't going to be there very long. It's like this is a placeholder, and by the time he got the guy, I feel like by the time he got some of these guys, they were already leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's 3 month booking, of course. Yeah, I mean, obviously Paul knew that. Paul's not going to keep bringing in fucking a bunch of these fucking guys that Conan knows. You gotta be kidding me. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's all 3 months.
Yeah, it's like, listen, we got Mysterio and La Parca, but we're not bringing Damien 666 to the ECW arena. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen.
Well, Damien brought all the guys. That's why you saw Damien. That's why Damien says this was there. He brought the guys. He was the liaison for all the Japanese guys. Yeah, of course.
He had the biggest
I
band.
love Damien. Damien's great, dude. He's great.
Well, after this segment talking about Sandman, we were just discussing this guy, an amazingly good Steve. I mean, not that any of them are ever really that bad, but this is a really, really, really good Steve Austin promo.
Aaron.
I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm not gonna say the promo verbatim or whatever, but it's a great fucking promo, and in my opinion, it's Steve Austin's Hard Times promo. You know what I mean? Like it's the one that if you want to show why this guy is the best promo of his era, just sit him down and let him watch this. You know what I mean? It's fucking perfect, and it's somewhat like a lot of times when you watch things, you know, it's like you don't like when they talk about the business being. I don't like when they present the business as being fake, like some of the shit Russo did in WCW, like Goldberg turned heel and went against the script or whatever. Like I hate that shit. But this promo, Steve isn't really. He's kind of doing that, but he's saying like, I went to the promoter and said, "Hey, I want to wrestle Hulk Hogan," and they were like, "That's not in the cards for you, brother." Like, baby, that's not in the cards for you. Like, making it sound like, hey, they didn't want to push me, but he's like, they didn't write me into it. It just makes it sound like, oh, we want to book this guy instead of you in the match. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So it's just a great promo top to bottom, and him talking about not being able to know how to do anything else, and this is all I am, and it's a great fucking promo.
And
I totally agree with Aaron when I say that it's his hard time promo. I mean, you said a lot. You said a lot that was right. You said a lot about the whole entire situation. But the best thing he said was that was his hard times promo.
It's just a masterpiece. And have you ever watched the I'm sure you guys have, but they show that footage of him cutting it on that ECW documentary that WWE did, and when he's done doing it, like everybody in the room is cheering. Like you hear Sandman be like, "Holy shit!" and everybody's like, "Yeah, it was fucking great!" Like his promo got a pop from the guys watching it. It's like it's fucking great.
Sure, like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
But the couple of things that I wrote down here about this promo. First of all, he's got the shaved head now, or the buzz cut. I guess it's not totally shaved, but he's got the buzz cut. Like Chad mentioned a couple of episodes ago, those fucking steely blue eyes looking in the camera. The man looks like a superstar, and then the words that come out of his mouth, he talks like a superstar. And I love the fact that, Mick's thing is to turn heel on the crowd by saying, he's like legitimately, I want to go back to WCW. Take me back, Uncle Eric. Whereas Austin's approach to it is he's being sarcastic. Like, Eric, you're the best announcer in the world. Joey Styles is okay, but Eric, you're announcer of the year. And then he's talking about take me back to WCW because I'm too good for ECW. But his character's more sarcastic about it. And it's such good shit. And then I do love the fact, I love the line of, like you said, Aaron, he says, this is all I got. Some guys punch a time clock and go back home to some hag. And I pop for that.
With your ham sandwich and your lunch box. It's like, that ain't me, man.
That's how it is. I mean, that's how it was. Like, I mean, he was right there, smack dab in the middle of, I don't know whether it was the Monday Night Wars or whatever, however it was, but yeah, he was right there, and he's telling, this is how it is,
It's also oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, he knew. I mean, he already knew he was going up to New York. It was already written in the papers before he even got there. But yeah, he was just like, yeah, this is fucking real of me, damn it. You know what I mean?
It's also proof that everybody saying like that Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon didn't watch ECW. It's true. Because like, who can watch that and then bring the guy in and be like, oh, he needs a manager. He can't talk. Like, we got to put him with somebody.
Who the fuck would have said that?
That's what Vince and Bruce Pritchard felt when they got him. They thought he was just, all they knew is he was a good wrestler, and they didn't have any confidence in his speaking ability, so they put him with Ted because they were like, he needs somebody to talk for him.
So they never had an opportunity once to see anything he did in ECW at all. They never took the 5 minutes out of their time, their busy fucking time of booking that Doink the Clown Mickey Mouse nonsense. You go, look at this guy. Really? They didn't?
It was Cornette and Ross that were like, this is the man, and they just were like, nah. He needs a gimmick, and let's put the $1 million belt on him and let Ted talk for him.
See, exactly. that's so Mickey Mouse and it's fucking it's absurd. How I don't know. You know, like it's like somebody giving you the golden ticket gimmick, and then said, "Oh, yeah, you can't cash it till whenever." You know, if you have the golden ticket, like what don't he have? Like run down your criteria of what you think a superstar is. I mean, I'm not Vince. I don't know. But I think Steve Austin has all five categories. You know what I mean? I think he does. I don't know what you're looking at, dum dums.
Yeah, it's. I mean, to be honest with you, the person in the office that would have been most likely, other than Ross, that would have been most likely to have seen him in ECW at the time is probably Howard Finkel, because Howard Finkel was the guy that they assigned to watch everything else. And he would prepare apparently some report every week for Vince McMahon about what was going on all over the place. But yeah, it's just crazy that it took them so long to. I mean, I guess once he got there, it didn't take him too long to say, all right, we know what we got here. But yeah, when he first comes in, like Aaron said, they put him with Ted DiBiase and just he's totally miscast. And
It took about a year.
yeah, I mean, they dropped the ringmaster
year,
thing.
a year.
They dropped
I know,
the ring.
I know
They
that.
dropped the ringmaster thing pretty quick.
I know, but even when he was still, excuse me, even when he was still Stone Cold, he still wasn't like cutting promos and shit. Like he still had that stupid belt, and not that the $1 million belt was stupid, but it was stupid for him to have it, and it was just like it wasn't. It took him about a year, because if you think about it, like when did he really start?
He really
big? It was WrestleMania 13. You know what I mean?
Well, he really started to heat up once he started challenging Bret Hart.
Yeah, WrestleMania 13 there.
Well, their first match was at Survivor Series 96. And that's when he initially got into that shit with Bret. I'd say right after they had him not wrestle Yokozuna at SummerSlam 96. They wrestled on the pre-show. And then after that, so probably about September. So yeah, almost 10 months before they really started heating him up.
10 months in the wrestling business is forever, man. Just saying, that's forever.
Yep. Well, after the Austin promo, we then have. This is the first time I think that we've actually seen Taz in the orange and black singlet. But we've got Taz and Bill Alfonso. Taz is out in the orange and black. He's got the towel now. So we've seen the gimmick change here. And Fonzie cuts a promo in the ring. Sorry, my notes are a little scrabbled there. Fonzie cuts a promo in the ring. And then Taz quickly beats Puerto Ricano with the Kata Hajime. So this is I guess you'd say, the birth of what you know as the Taz character here. Well, Aaron, while Chad tries to work on getting his sound back, what did you think about this whole deal?
Looks like he's like Luigi's Mansion or something. Or Mario missing. Well, they did do the Taz Fonzie promo before the match where they were like talking about Public Enemy or whatever. But you're right. This is kind of the it's not the debut of it's not like the presentation of the. I don't want to say it's not the debut of the new Taz gimmick. It's the presentation or it's the debut of the whole presentation that they're gonna have now with Taz, like the towel, the look. He doesn't have the music yet. I don't think.
No,
I don't think he has "Survive If I Let You" yet. But it's like the towel, the singlet that makes him look fucking fantastic. It's cool when because the towel gets smaller as it goes, but like this time the towel's a little bigger, and it's cool when like Fonzie rips it off, because it's like you don't know what you're gonna see under it. Then it's like boom, it's just like, hey, here's a new Taz, you know, and it's just a sawed off little badass, and it's my favorite era of in-ring Taz is him being that heel with Fonzie.
All right. Here's a fun fact for you fucking suburban guys. I was the first guy. To do the Taz gimmick. I did it like 2 nights before the ECW arena. And remember, have we got there yet? Where I said, "Well, your name ain't Taz. You're Tasmania." And Paul says, "No, his name is Taz." And I said, "Nah, whatever. It's Tasmania." But yeah, I was the first guy that did Taz that worked Taz when he became that gimmick.
Is that on TV?
No, I mean
No. Okay.
that
I didn't
was
know. I didn't know if maybe it was something we were going to see here coming up, or
No, that was at a house show in somewhere in Pennsylvania, like whatever kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was me. I was the first guy to do it, and I mean, I didn't know, I didn't give a fuck, I didn't care. It didn't bother me whether you know what I mean. I just thought it was cool that I got to be part of an angle. It was kind of an angle. Not with me and Taz, but it was to get the Taz over.
mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, all right, man, I'm down with that.
But yeah, this is the first time, like we were talking about on TV, where you're seeing I guess you'd say the branding of Taz. You know, like I said, the singlet and the towel and Fonzie, and you know, it's definitely a change for the character, and a change in the positive, because I agree with Aaron. This is the best version of Taz for the next year on ECW.
Fuck yeah, brother. Fuck yeah, brother. Fuck yeah, brother.
And I stand corrected, I guess, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I stand corrected that I thought that the last time we saw Public Enemy, that was the last time we were going to see Public Enemy in ECW. Because they still are plugging that tonight they're going to be having a match with the Heavenly Bodies. So they are.
Dude, I love how Aaron says that is the last time that we're going to see Public Enemy. It's like me years ago, whatever, saying it's the last time we're going to see the fucking Pitbulls. Oh, but they're still there.
They're like a Hunter Q Robinson or like a Hunter Q. It's like, oh, this guy's got to be it for Hunter Q. And it's like, oh, nope. Comes Bad Penny, Hunter Q. But no, we still got a couple weeks of Public Enemy, because we have the next show is the last show of 95, I think. And then that house party that they're hyping, that's on the network. So we're going to watch that. And I think that's their send off. That's their Dino. That's their Dino send off.
Oh, the 100Q Dusty. What's your problem with 100Q?
I still think it would have been amazing for just one night the lights to go out in the ECW arena, and then they come back on, and it's like Hunter Q with Tony Stetson, Chris Michaels, and the Wolfman.
And like you said, you can call their faction the Bad Pennies. Oh, they're back.
The Bad Pennies.
It'd be amazing if you were the only one there. And the lights went out. And they were on the ring. Yeah. Nobody else would have cared. Nobody else would have cared. But yeah, imagine if you were there by yourself.
And then the Wolfman literally means it when he says, "This is my ring. This is my ring."
Yeah,
this is
literally my ring.
I think it would have been great if the lights went out, come back on, and it's Hunter Q with the Wolfman, Stetson, Chris Michaels, and Johnny Hotbody, and they just immediately get taken out. Like they're not even effective.
Don't you be fucking with the Bad Penny Cabrini boys.
Yeah, they're just immediately taken out.
I think you just announced the worst faction of all time. like literally, like I need you to text me that faction, like after we're done the show, so I can look at it and just imagine how bad that faction was.
So, something finally tops Paul Jones' army.
Oh no, come on, don't. See, that's the barometer. Paul Jones' army's the barometer. If you're worse than Paul Jones' army, then yeah, you're pretty bad. And this is pretty bad.
Chris Michaels cuts like an invasion type promo, like we're taking over, but he does it entirely in his Bullwinkle voice.
Does not do that. Aaron's booking a company that I would love to watch. Like, I would love to see if my main event was Tony Stetson against Johnny Hotbody again.
And Chris Michaels does his whole Bullwinkle gimmick, and you know he ends up getting taken out by Rocco. So it could be Bullwinkle versus Rocky.
Does not. It does. No, it doesn't happen.
Anyway,
Joey Styles comments that he just felt a bead of sweat hit the top of his head. He turns around and there's Jay Sully behind him.
Oh, Jay Sully. Oh, there you go, right there.
Yeah, you got to have a heel commentator to support the group.
Jay Sully standing there looking like he's in a hostage video.
Where the fuck is Archie Mitchell for this? We're booking undercard ECW guys. You know, Aaron's doing it, not us. It's Aaron's fault. He brought up all these guys. Fuck Johnny Hotbody. Fuck.
Well, after whatever the hell we just talked about before that little desertion, we get a video showing us highlights of Cactus Jack and Sabu and all their rivalry. And Joey announces
Heavenly Bodies, they cut a promo in a hotel with Raven, and it's the same hotel they've been using like for Beulah's Box and Steve Austin's promos and shit. They cut a lot of little promos in this fucking abandoned apartment or whatever they're in, and just canned them in there. I don't know what this room is, but it's some sleazy little.
Aaron's calling him out. He said it's the same hotel. They did all the promos in.
Like I don't know if this is where like Jason was taking girls after he gave them warm milk or what, but this is building this fucking apartment with no furniture in it. Like, what is this place? But anyway, go ahead.
So after that, we get a video.
Or it might actually be Jimmy Del Rey's house. I don't know, but either way, it's weird. But go ahead.
Nah, the windows weren't newspapered up. It wasn't Del Rey's house. Again, I'll start over here. We get Joey giving us a video on the Cactus Jack Sabu feud, and he announces that they will be having a death match on December the 29th. And then we go to the Public Enemy in the ring to get ready for their match with the Heavenly Bodies. But Bubba Ray Dudley comes out and entertains the crowd because he's
it's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, and Joey Styles didn't make any fucking. He didn't waste any time in saying the crowd loves Bubba Ray. like he said it, like I don't know, maybe 3 seconds after he walked out. And I made a note. I made a note saying that going. Oh, Joey's really fucking going out of his way to put a Bubba. And I love Bubba. I mean, I'm friends with Bubba. He's great. And when he came out, and I mean, you go ahead, Nate, and explain the rest of it, whatever he did.
Well, essentially, what this is, in my mind, is even though Bubba's already over with this crowd, they know Public Enemy are leaving. And whether we are fans or not, the ECW Arena crowd was huge fans of the Public Enemy. So they're putting Bubba in here with Public Enemy to dance in the ring so Public Enemy can give Bubba the stamp of approval for the ECW crowd.
What?
They're essentially having Public Enemy give Bubba Dudley the stamp of approval for the ECW crowd here.
Okay, yeah, of course. Well, I mean, they didn't have to, but
Yeah, they didn't have to. The dude's already fucking over like Rover, but they're doing it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Public Enemy was like everybody knew Public Enemy was the team. It's fine. Everybody knew that. But now they're going, all right, this is the next guy. Right here. Over right. And he was a dancing fool.
What makes it even more ridiculous is that they were dancing to Hot Stepper or whatever in reality, but on the WWE network, it's like the shitty Public Enemy music.
Yeah.
But they're dancing to it like it's like the coolest shit in the world. It's kind of like when you watch Mid-South on the WWE network and JYD comes out and everybody's dancing to Another One Bites the Dust, but they're dancing to that shitty, I don't know what it is, Dust JYD WWE network music, but it makes it look like in 81 people thought, oh, this is the shit.
Including Reether Bowden.
Like if a child watched that and didn't know, they would just be like, oh man, people really love that fucking shit.
Could you imagine if that was the actual music back then? Just imagine. Like, just you're watching it now, and you hear the WWE music of, whatever for JYD. Imagine if that was the music in 1981 or 82 in fucking
People would have been just standing there and staring at him. Like, what?
You would have thought Coco Beware was coming out. Yeah, dude.
But anyway.
The music is horrendous, dude. It's horrendous.
Yeah, you're right. It is funny to have them to think that they're dancing to that music instead of the actual music. It's really funny.
It's kind of like when you ever heard the even though I don't like ICP, but have you ever heard the Oddities WWE version of the Oddities theme? It's insane. Like, what the fuck is it? Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I mean, the best thing you said was, I don't like ICP. I don't like that. Who's ICP? Are they
my favorite? They are, but they're trying to like. Anyway, my favorite thing that ever happened to them was when Mike Awesome power bombs and WCW. Mike Awesome power bombs Shaggy 2 Dope on the top of a bus, and then Shaggy 2 Dope doesn't know what to fucking do, and he doesn't have anything to grab onto. So he power bombs him onto the bus, and dude just slides right, like just slides right off the bus, and Mike Awesome just like, whatever. Mike Awesome just like, well, whatever. Like he didn't try to, like, he saw him slide and he didn't try to grab him or anything. He just watched the guy fucking shoot off into oblivion. Like, oh, it's so funny. He fucking lands right in his stupid fucking head.
My birthday was 2 days ago, and I'm 51 years old, and we're talking about the insane clown posse. Holy shit! That's amazing to me, dude.
So after the Heavenly Body, or after the the Public Enemy and Bubba dance. The Heavenly Bodies come out. The Heavenly Bodies come out and be total dickheads and crack Bubba with a chair for pretty much no reason. Assholes. But anyway, Bubba gets back up, challenges them, gives them the whole, they powder out of the ring because he's punched him in the dome, and he dances again. And then we get into our match. It's the Public Enemy and the Heavenly Bodies. Hope I didn't miss anything there.
You didn't, but I have a question because we skipped over some episodes because it was just the Super Show or whatever that we watched, recaps or whatever. Could they ever even explain like why the Heavenly Bodies were with Raven? Like it makes no sense.
I don't think they did because what, Chad? Didn't they just come in for like 1 or 2 shots anyway, like 1 or 2 weeks?
This is it.
I thought so, yeah. And that
Like,
might be Aaron why everything you've seen of them has been in the same hotel room because they were like, we got these guys for 2 nights. We need
But I'm just saying like there was other stuff other than with the Heavenly Bodies too, though. Like this is the same like creepy hotel that they cut the Monday NyQuil promos in and everything. But it's just I don't understand why Raven was with or why the Heavenly Bodies were with Raven. Makes no sense.
Well, they didn't stick around, so it didn't fucking matter, right? Why?
Yeah, well,
why continue the story when they didn't stick around? Like I mean, during their promo, they mentioned Raven. Like Raven brought him in, like to do whatever, and that was it. They came in, they worked, they were done, they were gone. That was it. See you later. Where was Raven?
But the match itself, but the match itself is just a brawl. It's an ECW brawl.
Of course it is. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. The crowd was cool with it. I mean, I would have much rather seen a match. In my opinion, I would have much rather. Because I mean, Jimmy Del Rey is better than a lot of guys think, and Dr. Tom Pritchard seriously stop it. Don't even fucking try to tell me.
Oh no, I'm not knocking Del Rey as a wrestler. I mean, I'm just making fun of the fact that he's kind of a pervy creeper. But them as wrestlers are. Jimmy Del Rey was a fantastic wrestler, and Tom Pritchard was fantastic as well. And Rocco, when he's in there with somebody that's good, he's great. It's just Johnny Grunge is just a slug.
What is Johnny Grunge?
A slug.
Slug. What do you think?
Well, the way this match resolves itself is Jimmy Del Rey
He could have never feuded with any of Fuji's people. The minute Fuji would have hit him with the salt, it would have been over.
Sayonara, boy-san.
You about to shrivel.
But the Public Enemy defeat the Heavenly Bodies. Joey signs off the show, and then we get a segment with Santa Claus and Big Dick Dudley. And that is how this episode wraps up. And overall,
I never liked Big Dick Dudley. Never liked him.
Like personally?
As a gimmick or as a person?
Either. Because he didn't do anything. I've never seen him without a crutch. Never. Ever seen him without a crutch. How can you be that big and you have legs that small, and you're always on a crutch? I mean, me personally, I didn't have any respect for him. I just thought he was a jabroni. I thought he was worse than me and Donnie Allen. I thought he was like where you throw like the old dolls in the corner and then somebody might play with him sooner or later. It's like that's what I thought he was.
Yeah.
Fuck Big Thunder. Is he still alive?
No, he's dead.
Oh damn, fuck it.
So overall,
Buried him even more.
what did we what did we think about this episode of ECW, guys?
It was just there.
I agree. The best thing was the Austin promo.
Oh, hands down.
No, I want to hear more Aaron's take on this.
It was just a show that was just there, other than the Steve Austin promo and like the unveiling of the Taz like gimmick. Nothing really happened. Like it was like whatever. Here you go.
Well, you just said two things that were kind of not. I don't want to say iconic because they clearly weren't iconic. But I mean, they were big deals. Steve Austin promo and the new Taz. So that to me makes the show a little more affordable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what level what grade you're giving it, but that just right there takes whatever I saw and just go, all right, you know what? This is going to be good, man. But as you know, and the new Steve Austin. So I mean, my grade's going to be way different than all your grades.
Well, that being said, again, like I said, we will continue our conversation later in the week about, and we'll do the next episode of ECW, which is I think December 26th of 1995. We're finally getting into 96. I'm excited to be getting into 96 ECW for sure. I want to thank Aaron and Chad. I'm not trying to rush anybody, but Nate's got to pee. So I want to thank you guys for joining me and thank our listeners for listening. And thanks to those of you that sent questions. Again, you can send those questions to relivingtheextreme@gmail.com. Any parting words for our listeners, guys?
That shit over, man. Yeah, send questions. Put that shit over.
Thanks. Yep. Thanks for listening. Send questions. Tell your friends. Tell your wives. Get the show out there.
Tell your friends, tell your wives, tell your mistresses, tell everybody
about
Reliving the Extreme. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, everybody.